So in today's video, I'm going to be going over one of my favorite news sites and resources to use when I am trading Forex. This does give me a macro perspective and it adds to my fundamental analysis when I'm trading. And I'm going to be showing you guys how you can use it to maximize your trades or to get more insights before you get into your trades. Now, when you're trading, there are three types of analysis that you should do before you enter the market. And the first one is fundamental. Fundamental consists of checking the news, checking out the macro factors that can essentially influence how your currency pair is going to move for that day, for that week, or for that month. The second way, which a lot of traders tend to focus on, is the technical analysis aspect. And that's when you actually get into your chart. You use your indicators, and you're really looking at the candles and things of that nature. And the last way is going to be your sentimental analysis, which is you're taking everything you've gathered and you're deciding whether or not you really want to enter the trade. So to get to this website, you just go to forexfactory.com. And when you log in, it should look something like this. This is the homepage. And this actually tells you a lot, but the reason why I like this website is because it's actually so much more than what meets the eye. But the first thing we're going to focus on is the actual news, and the colors of the folder and how they can impact your trading. So the market will usually be moving like this. You may have some consistent movement, then eventually there may be a breakout. However, there's going to be some consistency with what is going on. So it's a little bit predictable. You know that you'll be selling at areas of resistance and you'll be buying at areas of support. And sometimes your support will become resistance depending on which way the market is breaking out. But nevertheless, it's all really predictable movement. So when you see a yellow folder, this is considered low impact news, and the market will tend to follow that same pattern, right? You'll have some consistency. There may be breakouts. However, finding your areas of support and resistance are going to be a little bit easier when the market has that type of motion. Now, an orange folder is considered medium impact news. So you may have some consistency, but then the market may completely break out of your zone, have a little bit of consolidation, and then it may revisit your zone. So it's predictable for the most part with spikes and unpredictable changes in the market happening at the time of the news. And then you have your high impact news, which can completely have the market going all types of ways. That is extremely unpredictable. So if you're a new trader, if you can avoid the red folders until you get more comfortable with everything else, because you really don't want to put a damper on your confidence thinking that you did everything right just for news to come out. And that's what threw your trade off, not your analysis. So just beware. So what this homepage really tells you, the first thing you'll see here, once you scroll down, is the current week. So today is Wednesday, September 20th, and we can see all the news that came out for this day. So this is pretty nice because if you're trading in London session from 3 a.m. to 12 p.m., you can see all of your news here, not really that much high impact. And then you can see news for the rest of the week as well. Now, you can always, and then this goes on and on. We're Saturday, September 23rd, which hasn't happened yet. Sunday, we know the market is closed. And you can really see what's happening for the entire month. If you're a swing or position trader, it's nice to know what's going on with the pairs that you usually trade. So this page will tell you the date. It'll tell you the time that the news is coming out or has come out. And you'll notice that once that news has passed, it'll actually be gray, right? And then if it's still black, that means that the news has not come out yet. It'll tell you which currency the news is for, and it'll also tell you the impact of the folder, which is pretty amazing. Now, another cool thing that you can do here is you can actually click on this folder here under details, and it'll tell you a little bit more about that currency pair. So it tells you what is the source of this news, right? It'll tell you what is happening. So this is a change in the price of goods sold by manufacturers, and it'll tell you what effect this news will usually have on your currency pair. So actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. So you do want to pay attention to the forecast here. And as we can see, the forecast was negative 0.5. The actual was 0.3. So this probably wasn't too good for this currency. So you can just come in here and get a little sneak peek and see what's going on. You can see the next time that this report is coming out. And what I really like about Forex Factory is they give you this little blurb that says, why do traders care? So in this case, it says it's a leading indicator of consumer inflation. When manufacturers charge more for goods, the higher the costs are usually passed on to the consumer. Right? So you do get a little bit of information. So that was a yellow folder, right? Now let's see what a red folder would look like, right? So we had some news come out on today, September 20th at 2 o'clock p.m. where it says federal funds rate. And let's just see what happened here. So in this news, we can see that because the news has passed, we can see that the target was maintained. We can see that the Federal Reserve was the source, which is a pretty good, reputable source. And we can see what the measures were. Interest rate at which depository institutions lend balances held at the Federal Reserve to other depository institutions overnight. Again, actual greater than forecast is good for currency. And when they say actual greater than forecast, those are these numbers here. Wait, so let me close this. These numbers here, so we can see actual, right? And then we can see what the forecast is. So if the actual turns out to be greater than what is forecasted, then that would be probably a good for the currency pair, which is your USD in this case. It also tells us that the next release for this report is November 1st, 2023. And traders should care because, and it tells you why, short-term interest rates are the paramount factor in currency valuation. Traders look at most other indicators merely to predict how rates will change in the future. And it also gives you different names for this, like interest rates, Fed funds rates, and I really wouldn't stress too much about this stuff, just because I don't want you guys to become overwhelmed with the news. I just want you guys to be able to look at the news as additional indicators for getting into your trades. So as we can see, we do have a news that is about to come out in 1 minute, and that's the 6:45 p.m. EST news for NZD, just for NZD. And we're going to see what this news is about. So it says this is measuring the change in the inflation adjusted value of all goods and services produced by the economy. So that's a pretty big deal. So it says actual greater than forecast is good for currency. This is released quarterly, about 75 days after the quarter ends. And the next release will be December 20th. So this is going to be some pretty big news here. And it's nice to know we have a red folder, right? And a red folder doesn't necessarily mean sell. It just means that the news is really going to affect how that currency pair is moving. And why do traders care? This is the broadest measure of economic activity and the primary gauge of the economy's health. So we're gonna see what actually happens to NZD USD as that news comes out. So TradingView is the website that I use for most of my trading analysis. But I am going to get back to Forex Factory just to show you guys how you can actually look at the charts there as well. So we can see that this news just came out, and we can see that people are already starting to pay attention to what's happening here. We do have a huge wick rejection, but I would give it a few minutes because we don't even know what's going to happen. So I would just, if you are trading NZD or any cross pairs, make sure you are being mindful of what's happening. And again, the actual is 0.9%. The forecast is 0.4%. And it says actual greater than forecast is good for a currency. So we are going to see what happens to NZD, USD. And if it's good for a currency, we're going to assume that the market is going to be going up. So those are some ways that you can use the homepage of Forex Factory to really help you understand your trades and enter your trades a little bit better. But that's not actually all that you can do here. Something else that you can do on forexfactory.com is you can actually look at your charts. So if we were going to be looking at, for example, say Euro USD is a pair that you like to trade, where you see your scanner at the top of your chart, you can actually click on, you can actually, oh, sorry guys. This just, I clicked on Euro USD and it took us into all the news for Euro USD. And I'm actually just trying to click on this chart. So if you click on the chart for Euro USD or any currency pair, it'll tell you what the current price is. It'll give you all of the relevant news for that particular currency pair. It'll tell you when that news came out. It'll tell you what most traders are doing, right? So we know that long stands for buy and short stands for, I mean, shorts are for sellers. So we can see that right now most traders are long, they're in for buys, and about 41% of traders are in for sales. So it's still pretty close. But this is another way just to collect information and to see what other people are doing with their trades. You do have the ability to look at your chart here as well. So I can see this is Euro USD on a 1 hour chart. I could change this to Euro USD on the 4 hour chart. And I can also just, again, get a quick glimpse as to what's going on here. I can actually expand this chart to make it bigger. And you can see the news directly on the chart and how that news impacted the currency. So we can see here on September 14th at 5 a.m., some news came out about a monetary policy, and then we can see that this was a huge red candle. So that high impact news actually led to the market selling. Here's another example of news that came out at 5 a.m. on September 20th. This was the Federal Reserve news. And we can see again, this was another red candle. And you can go back in the past and you'll notice that the news will usually align with what is happening in the market. So here we have some news. And again, just because it's a red folder, it won't always mean sell. We can see in this case, the news led to a huge push up of buys in the market. We can also see that this news here led to a huge push up or buys in the market. Um, so you can again change this to the 1 hour chart. You can change this to the 5 minute chart and just see how different news is impacting the movement of your currency. So here's another one, right? This news came out at 2 p.m. This was a huge drop. We can see regular news, right? Market was pretty standard, nothing crazy happening there. We had an orange impact, so we can see during this time we had a big drop, but nothing really crazy. Then the market just pretty much corrected itself. So you can also draw on this the same way that you can draw on TradingView. So if you wanted to draw a trend line, you can draw trend lines here. If you wanted to highlight your areas of supply and demand, you can also do that here as well, right? So let's just take this rectangle and let's just say we wanted to highlight this supply area and then pair it with the news. That's something that we'll be able to do. You can also add indicators on your chart. They don't give you that many options, but that's okay. You can have your moving average, which it looks like we already have one on there. You can add a MACD if you like to look at your MACD. And then you can also have your calendar and news events on the chart as well. So we can see the moving average is already there. So this is a pretty cool way to use Forex Factory. Again, it's more than just checking the news. You can do everything on this site. You can just come in here, you can get a quick glance at what's going on, and you can see how the news actually aligns to what's happening in the market. And it's pretty cool. I really like that about it. Um, you can see upcoming events for Euro USD. So it looks like these next couple of hours, right? Even more news. These next couple of hours, this entire week for USD is looking a little bit shaky. So if you are trading any USD crosses, make sure that you are any Euro crosses. Make sure that you are double checking your news and really seeing what's going on. So these are the main ways that I like to use Forex Factory. Again, you just can explore and click around and see what you find. Again, if you click the calendar tab, it'll pretty much take you to that homepage. If you click the news tab, it'll tell you all the news that's going on. Um, if you click the trades tab, these are some trade ideas that your fellow users are dropping. So again, I wouldn't just take trades from anybody, but you can just collect more information before you enter the trade on your own. All of these resources are free. Um, Anybody can access them. Forex Factory is free. TradingView is free. They do offer paid versions, however. Just collect as much information as you can without paying, because the goal is to make money. But when you are ready to upgrade and invest, you do have a lot of reasons why you should. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys today.